What's up, legends? I know it's been a minute, but we are back with episode 7 of our Poké Investing series. The series where together we're building a community portfolio where you guys decide on what we invest in to open up each month, and we see what we can learn in the process. And like I said, it has been some time, but you guys did vote to open up the Pokemon Go ETB. So we're going to do that today to see if we'll take a profit or loss from this opening. And of course, we also will analyze our current portfolio, see how it's been doing, and kind of see how it lines up against other potential investments that we could have done, including sealed product, the S&P 500, and Bitcoin. So that'll be interesting to take a look at. But real quick before we do, if it's your first time here, my name is Luke, and if you like to collect shiny cardboard and chase nostalgia, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below to come along the collecting journey with me. But let's get into our opening. Now, by the way, I was actually able to save the community portfolio some money by getting this ETB off of Whatnot. Now, Whatnot is the app featuring live streamed auctions where you can bid on Pokemon cards and often get some great deals. In fact, you can sometimes find sellers that actually sell sealed product like this. And so we actually paid $35, believe it or not, for this ETB, plus $9 shipping, so $44 altogether. So yeah, Whatnot is a great place to get Pokemon cards, including sealed product. Make sure you use my link in the description below, and you can actually get a $10 credit towards your purchase on there. Let's go ahead and unpack this, and of course, if any of this stuff has any value, like the sleeves, we'll include that in the value overall. Yeah, I don't think that these are really worth much. But of course, the Pokemon Go ETBs come with this pretty cool U2V full art promo card. Very nice. Not the best centering, of course. Definitely hard to find a good copy of this card, but that'll definitely give us a little value to start off with for today's value. See if we can make it back. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into our packs. Hopefully we can pull something cool today. And let's also talk about where our community portfolio sits. We'll pull up our investment spreadsheet here. You'll see that we have invested a total amount so far of $486, and our portfolio value is currently sitting at $292.60 for a loss of $193. So yeah, very interesting, right? That's kind of where we're sitting at. We've been just slowly losing money, and so I guess another way you can look at it is that the $193 is the amount that we have spent for the pure fun of it. The rest is actual profit. So we got Looney Tunes Reverse, and let's see if we have a hit on the first pack here. Just a Pikachu holo, not bad though. I do love the holos, but they're not worth too much, so I don't know if we'll count most of them in the price here. And I'll share one thing that I've actually been changing about the way I'm tracking our portfolio. I've actually been using an app that I've been using for the last few months, and I really have come to enjoy it. Let me show you in just a second. We actually are, you can see that we arrived at the total card value, this 144, that actually comes from an app called the Collector app. Let me pull that up here. And this is actually where we can track the value of all the cards in our collection. You can see here, let's see if we do view all, there we go. We can see a lot of the cards here along with their values. And as we saw on the first screen, it's totaled up there. And so basically the way that I am tracking this is, of course, we have our card values that we still have in the collection, and then also the total profit that we have locked in. And that's through mostly different things like selling our bulk and selling sleeves and other things that might be actually worth something. So we've actually taken profit in those cases. So that's where we arrive at those numbers there. Oh, all right, let's go. All right, we got the Radiant Venusaur, and this one is definitely probably the hardest of the three to pull I've found. And oh man, I love it. It's actually probably my favorite artwork of the three. So, you know, the price has gone down quite a bit, but yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Do we have a double hit though? We also have just a holo Zapdos. All right, well, let's go with that Radiant Venusaur. And so this leads me into something else I wanted to talk about, because actually from our last, actually not our last product that we opened, but the one before it, the Astral Radiance booster box. I actually wanted to try something out because I've had this thought that, you know, it seems like prices often dip dramatically after release week. And so I had the thought, what if I go ahead and sell a few of the cards that we can actually find a buyer for. And by doing so, we kind of take profits early on, and you know, will we actually possibly, you know, do better and make more by taking that approach. All right, we got the reverse holo Pikachu. I actually needed this for my master set, so that is awesome. I only had the holo version, and also holo Glossopod. And so you can see actually a little further down here, if we start here at the Garchomp full art, we actually, if you look where it's crossed out, that's kind of just to signify that we have taken profits from it. So originally it was $7.62 around the time of release, and that's around what we sold it for. And it turns out that was actually a good idea, because within about a month and a half, it had gone down to $6, and now today it sits around $5. So, you know, not huge, you know, dramatic jumps in price, but large enough that if you sell enough of these cards, it can make a difference. Same with the Roxanne Rainbow Rare. Originally, it was about $15.40. A month and a half later, around the time we opened up our Zacian ETB, it went down to $10.65. Now it's sitting at $9.73. And you can see for most of these, there's a few exceptions, like the Diancie Holo randomly went up, but then went back down. Frostmoth was about $2. Now it's $1.62. Not a huge drop there. Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX was $3.76, and now it's $3.32. Pierce full holo, or full art, I mean, $6.42. Now it's $5.37. And the Hisuian Typhlosion V-Star was almost $6. Now it's all the way down to about $3.50. So it turns out that was actually a good move on our part for our portfolio, to actually just sell those off and take some profit. So yeah, that's kind of the approach actually I've been taking. Even more recently, I did the same thing with some of my Lost Origin hits that I didn't really care to keep. And I think it has paid off, and maybe something you guys want to consider. You know, honestly, you could probably sell off almost all of your hits and make a profit from selling in that first week, because the prices do tend to drop. But I understand, for me personally, I like to keep the ones that I actually intend to keep in my collection. But there's often a lot of ones that I don't care about, so those ones I try to sell off as quickly as possible. All right, we got the Spinarak, and it's not the Ditto version. It's always good to check that. I'm pretty sure that one could be a Ditto, but anyway. We also have a holo Blastoise. Now, probably the only exception to this, which is just, it seems like a toss-up to me, is if we were to have pulled an alternate art, regardless of whether or not I would want to keep it in my collection, you know, it's really a tough thing, because some of the alternate arts, they do tend to go down in value, but some of them randomly actually go up after release. For instance, the Machamp from Astral Radiance, the alternate art, it's a really cool card. It was, you know, much lower than the Dialga and Palkia alternate arts. It almost seemed like it would appear, at least at the beginning, that people were really excited about those cards more, but it turns out in the end that there was actually more of a demand for the Machamp, and so that one went up significantly, and it's actually held at a pretty good price, over $100, while the other two have gone down to, I believe, around $50. And the other example, more recently, the Aerodactyl, again, a Kanto Pokemon that I think ultimately probably there's more demand for it, and so it's not surprising to me that the price has gone up on that card, and it stayed pretty consistent. So yeah, guys, just something to consider. You know, even if you're don't consider yourself an investor, and I'm kind of in that boat. I don't consider myself a straight investor in Pokemon, but at the same time, you want your investment dollars or your, you know, purchasing dollars to go as far as possible. So These are just some things and maybe some tips that you want to try out in order to maybe make back some of your investment of opening a booster box or what have you. Again, selling the bulk is another option. And okay, we got reverse hollow Charmeleon and anything. All right, Dragonite V, nice. I've actually pulled this guy a whole bunch of times, but it's a great artwork. I love this card. Happy to see him. But yeah, the other thing I was going to mention is that another thing that I often do is I sell the code cards, and I actually made about 10 bucks, as you can see here. I actually just sold them on eBay, and I delivered the codes directly through eBay message. And so that's something that you can do typically within the first week of release that I found, and make a decent amount. Of course, you could sell them after the fact, but I found you can get the best deal if you sell them kind of as soon as possible. I ended up making about 30 to 40 cents per code, which is pretty good. All right, so then another thing that I always like to look at on these videos is, what if we didn't open these products? What if we had actually kept them sealed? What would we be sitting at? Obviously right now we're at a huge loss, almost $200 that we have lost from opening up these products. But what would happen if we actually had kept all of these products sealed? Well, there's an easy way we can look that up, and again, it's through the collector app. We're gonna pause real quick. We'll find out what that hit is in just a moment. If we open this up, go back to the collector app, and by the way, I'm not sponsored, but like I said, I do really enjoy this app, and yeah, I would love to get sponsored by them. That would be cool. Of all the companies in this hobby, it's one that I really speak very highly about, and that would be a pretty cool thing. But anyway, I'm just sharing here. If we go to this, you can actually create additional portfolios. I created a sealed portfolio specifically to show all of the products that we have opened up so far, not including today's. But if we go back here, look at that. We would be sitting at $670. And again, if we go back to our spreadsheet, we have invested $486. And that would be our profits if we were to sell those today. So that's really not bad at all. I don't know the exact gain off the top of my head. I probably should have figured that out. But anyway, let's figure out what we got here. We do have a hollow Charizard, and that's not a bad one. That one actually does have a little bit of value, so we'll sleeve that one up. So of course you'll see the amount that we have made from this so far on screen. And it's a tough one. This is an interesting set. I personally enjoy the set. I know a lot of people don't. But as far as the possibility to make back our money, I think the chances may be a little slim. But if we open up here, let's go to TCG Player. This will actually show where these cards are sitting at as far as the value right now, as far as our main chase cards. Believe it or not, the Mewtwo Rainbow Rare has actually surpassed the Mewtwo Alt Art as the most expensive card in the set, but it only sits at $42.91. And so the Alt Art, the main Alt Art chase in this set, is only $36, which is ridiculously cheap compared to any of the other Alt Arts in main sets. And so, if we pulled one of those top 2 cards, even the top 3 cards, and then got a few additional ultra rares, it's possible that we could break even, but I'd say it's pretty unlikely that we're actually going to make money from opening this. Of course, we'll find out today, depending on what we get, but let's see where our hit is. Just a hollow Articuno. Yeah, super interesting to see. The Dragonite sitting at 3, the Gold Mew sitting at number 4, and the Radiant Charizard, which is a card I love, has gone down in value quite a bit, only 26 bucks. And then you got all these additional secret rares, the rainbow cards and the gold cards. Yeah, it's very fascinating to see how this set has gone. And I think part of it is because it's a smaller set, and I think a lot of these cards are a little bit easier to pull than they are in some of the main sets. But we are on our second to last pack here. Another thing I wanted to show you, I like to show this, is if we had invested the funds that we invested in these products in a different way, what would our gains be or losses? And so I want to look in a second at if we had invested in Bitcoin, That's the one we've been tracking mostly, as well as the S&P 500. What would we be at right now? Would we be doing better with our Pokemon card investment or worse? We'll take a look at that after this here, just the Holo Pikachu. So let's pull that up in our spreadsheet. If you look here, Bitcoin has been struggling over the past few months. There was a time where we were actually in the positive with our paper trading of Bitcoin, but as you can see here, we are at a big loss, actually a even bigger loss than our Pokemon card opening investment portfolio here, which is pretty crazy. So a little over $200 that we would be out with Bitcoin. Of course, you never know what it's going to do long term. None of this is investment advice, but just trying to show you some numbers. And if we had invested, however, in the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, this is generally regarded as a pretty safe investment because you basically have all the best companies kind of in one conglomeration as far as their balance sheets, I believe. And but the economy has been very strange lately. So even with this, we actually are at a loss of $81 if we were to have been just kind of dollar cost averaging our some of our amounts that we have paid for our booster boxes and ETBs. That's where we would be sitting. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. And just like that, we're already on our last pack, which is crazy. I mean, we pulled a pretty cool card with that Radiant Venusaur, but guys, I don't think it's going to be nearly enough to even break even today. We might, I don't know. You just never know what we got in this last pack, but we need some last pack magic to do okay today. So let's find out. We're Turtle Reverse. And guys, to end things off, we have just a Holo Snorlax. All right. Well, guys, the final value that we pulled from today's opening will be displayed on screen right now, as well as how much we paid for this. Let me know, guys. Do you think we made a good investment today? Did we come anywhere close to even breaking even? I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are. Obviously, we're also in it for the fun as well, so maybe it was worth it based on that price there. I definitely feel like we had some fun today, especially pulling this Radiant Venusaur. But yeah, definitely curious to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Now, if you missed our last Pokemon investment video, make sure you check that out here on screen and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to support the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Lastly, I want to let you know that no matter what you're going through, you are not alone. God is with you and He loves you, and we do too. I'll catch you next time.